Thank you. Well, thank you so much for coming in the afternoon. And isn't it an amazing film?
Oh, yes.
Let's hear another round of
Yeah.
applause. Thank you guys so much. So I'm going to ask Ashley a couple questions. Can you all hear us? Is this on? I don't think the mic's.
But we can hear you.
We also have an ASL interpreter here today. Oh, thank you, Joanne Dean. If anyone needs that to happen, she's here. But if everyone's okay, I'll just get started. So
I think we need.
No, but I can hear you okay.
Can you hear? Do you
so it's
need
fine.
because she came all today for this. So
Sure.
why don't you come down, please? Thank you. This is Joanne Dean, Signmation. Amazing interpreter and producer and advocate for the deaf, and Ashley has made the film accessible too, has made it possible. And Arena Cinelounge is inclusive in all their screenings, so this is just a great place to come and experience films, and they have everything for the deaf. But first of all, I mean, the film speaks for itself, but I just wanted to ask you, how did you actually go about assembling this amazing team? For those who don't know, Ashley just had a short amount of time to get the filmmakers together, and this is her directorial debut. She also wrote it and produced it, but she has a great support team that traveled with you. And how, just, can you explain a little bit about the process, how that came together?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think. Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Yeah,
Yeah.
So from inception, I partnered with a production company called Change for Balance, who's just this incredible documentary production company. When we went to shoot the first shoot, which ended up, which we thought would be the short that didn't materialize, we then regrouped and decided we were going to go on a full elephant rescue. We waited for 2.5 years for an Asian elephant to be available for rescue, and there were constant false starts where an elephant would be up for rescue, and then by the next morning that elephant would be sold to a zoo, or that elephant would be sold to another trekking camp or circus. So when, surprisingly, this with Lek was all coordinated over Facebook Messenger with emojis, which was very unsettling. But when I got the message from Lek that Noi Na was available for rescue, we literally had a week to regroup as a team. And it was myself, 2 guys from Change for Balance, John McCarthy and Roddy Tabatabai, and then Max Ritter, who ran sound, a 3rd camera, and was taking BTS photographs the entire time. We took a red-eye flight to Thailand and landed and literally got on the back of the truck to head on down to Noi Na and then to get her back. So it was very, very quick. And I actually was doing an interview earlier in the week, and they said, what did you think when you were on the plane? Were you so excited? And I was like, oh yeah, I was really excited. And then I was like, wait, no, I wasn't excited. I was worried the entire time because I didn't know if by the time I got off the plane, if the whole rescue was just completely gonna be gone, and every penny we'd raised through Indiegogo would just completely be gone, and it was always a moving target, which did make it absolutely incredible when we were actually on the ground, and it was really, really happening. So, yeah.
Now, you've always been interested in elephants, even though you once told me that was not your favorite animal originally, but what did you learn the most about them being around Noi Na and being in their presence, besides what you already, the passion you already felt? Because I'm a huge elephant advocate and I have not spent enough time. So what did you take with you besides what you put on film here that you can just share about how familiar they are with each other and how they relate to humans?
Yeah, I surprisingly, I was not a huge elephant fan in the sense that I loved elephants, but I didn't have like elephant throw pillows and elephants all over my house and like elephant shower curtains. What I found was that when I'd seen footage of the crush box, which is the footage that Lek risks her life on a daily basis. That's her life work. That's what she's been doing for the last 20 years, is putting herself on the front lines in danger and against all odds and death threats to get this footage. When I saw that footage, it definitely inspired the first trip, but then when I got there, the hope with which Lek works inspired the complete story. And she works with such love and devotion and hope and just this relentless spirit. That then became the angle of, okay, this is the story, her story is the story I want to tell, and the way she approaches a rescue with such a sense of victory and triumph. I've never seen anybody have that outlook, or could have that outlook, in the devastation she faces daily, and that's what inspired me so greatly. I was like, everybody needs to meet this woman. In regards to elephants, I mean, seeing her love of these creatures, we saw miracles. The mud pit, the jungle walk and mud pit that we filmed, that was not on the schedule at all to film. We didn't know what, she said, we're going on a jungle walk. We didn't know what that was. When we saw these elephants that were literally in the captive situation, swaying back and forth, to then being on a jungle walk and moving freely and eating and enjoying their surroundings, it was nothing short of a miracle. And the transformation that then reflected in Mr. Chayapong was nothing short of a miracle. And that's the work that Lek does, that she treats these elephants with dignity and love, and they're somehow able to find it within themselves to forgive humans, which have caused them that amount of harm. Lek shared briefly last month, or I think 2 months ago, she was in town doing Q&As, and she actually said, just in passing briefly, she was like, oh, when a young elephant mom in a herd is getting ready to give birth, don't watch the young mother, watch the midwife. And I was like, wait. Midwife? I was like, how is this species, literally the coolest species, what midwife? And she's like, it's completely true. She's like, elephants learn mothering throughout the herd. So with a young mother, they don't know what to get ready for when they're about to give birth, and they don't know how to raise their child. So to prepare the mother, the young elephant mother for birth, there will be a midwife, and the midwife will create kind of a soft area for the elephant to lay down on. And actually when the pregnant elephant's water breaks, so to speak, the midwife will be the one to come and cover it with dust or grass or any kind of debris to protect, to cover the fluid, so that no predators will be able to track that young baby elephant down. So when you're seeing isolated elephants, and then elephants being elephants in a herd, that's how deep they go. So, yeah.
Amazing. And being a first-time filmmaker and picking such an extraordinary story to tell, you're also a published author.
Yes.
And Ashley has written her first book. Yes?
Yes.
All about the making of the film, what she learned, and it's really a great guide for first-time filmmakers and anyone who's got a passion, who's following a dream, who thinks that they can or can't do it or needs the encouragement. And it's also a guide. Can you explain a little bit about how the book came about, how you decided, was it a conscious choice before you started, was it midway through, and how they can get the book? Because I had it at the premiere last Wednesday, but you can actually purchase the book online, and I really recommend it. I'm reading it now, and it's just a great tool for anyone who wants to make a film.
Kat, thank you so much. This was completely not a conscious choice. The Love and Bananas took 4 years to finish from start to completion, and then about a year to sell. And I sold it actually. I had a team of sales agents working to sell it, and it just, all of the momentum that we had during the production just ended because the film was in somebody else's hands, and it was up on the auction block, and nothing was really flowing or happening. So I've been blessed through this entire process with incredible mentors guiding me along and giving me so much wisdom and advice and counsel and encouraging me to hold on to my rights, which is just, you hear an offer and you just want to chuck it out the window to jump at whatever's coming your way. And it dawned upon me only in the last couple of, about, I think I wrote this like 3 months ago. It dawned upon me the doing and the selling of it is so taxing. I want to share everything that I have so that first-time filmmakers who don't have necessarily the access that I have to lawyers and great co-producers can have this access, and also that people can read the trips and turns and pitfalls I took so that it'll save them and they'll have enough gas in the tank to do their second film. So that was the thought behind doing this book, and it's like a field guide. It's just listed out in chapters so you can see what of pre-production, production, post, and distribution looks like. So yeah.
Well, it's really a very valuable tool, and this film is such a family film, as you say. It's also great for kids to see it, to learn about elephants and become activists or activists. We had a lot of creatives at the premiere, but just kids all over the country, all over the world can learn so much. And also there's Asian elephants right here in LA
That's right.
that this film brings attention to, like Billy the elephant at the LA Zoo. Can you talk a little bit about how this film can send a message to anyone who has a doubt about Billy's plight without preaching to them? I mean, the movie already does it, but can you talk a little bit about how this film can make a difference in that sense?
Absolutely. So one of the most exciting parts of the release was that so many kids have come to see Love and Bananas in theaters. And a big part of what we're doing is we've also launched an impact campaign along with the film, and we have our impact producer offering community screenings and educational screenings. And we've gotten 250 requests for universities and libraries and schools and junior highs, and it's just been one of the most incredible things to go into a school with, oftentimes when Lek is in town, or with the whole team, to be able to share whatever we can share to help them out. In relation to Billy is an Asian elephant at the LA Zoo. One of our executive producers on the film, David Castleman, who's also the founding member of the Cambodia Wildlife Sanctuary, is an LA-based trial attorney, and he's actually been doing pro bono work for Billy to get Billy out of the zoo for, I believe, 10 years. He's spent over $7 million of time in pro bono work to get this elephant out of the zoo, and they've tried it. They won in local, in the Los Angeles court. It went all the way up to the Supreme Court and was thrown out on, the California Supreme Court was thrown out literally on a technicality. David did have elephant experts from around the world come in to assess Billy, and it has been proven that Billy is due to go to a sanctuary. A lot of times what happens with Asian elephants is literally the number one cause of death for Asian elephants in captivity is an abscess on the bottom of their foot. What happens at the LA Zoo is, even though the LA Zoo has got the space for him, they've only squared off and electrically wired a small area for him. Of course, the area is soil, but they don't rototill the soil. So when you have an 8,000-pound elephant standing in the same area and pressing it down, that dirt is going to turn into concrete really, really quickly. So in addition, he's standing on that, so he's getting abscesses in the bottom of his feet. He's then getting arthritis because he doesn't have the expanse to move, and he's becoming overweight. In addition, because he's not moving, elephants travel, 40 miles a day. In addition, Billy is exhibiting severe signs of stereotypic behavior, the exact same rocking and bobbing that you saw in the trekking camp, and it's been proven that it is time for him to get out of the zoo and go to a sanctuary. The Greater Good, an organization that we partnered with for the theatrical release, has actually come forward to say, if the Los Angeles Los Angeles County and the Los Angeles Zoo will free Billy, they will fly him to Cambodia, to David's Cambodia Wildlife Sanctuary. So it's this week of screenings are incredibly exciting because we opened in theaters. Love and Bananas opened in theaters in April on Earth Day of this year. We started out in 20 theaters. Now we actually just crossed 90 theaters this week. And because of this momentum, our distributor brought us back into theaters to actually qualify the film for an Academy Award in order to raise a massive amount of awareness for Asian elephants and for Lek's work. So what the next couple months are going to look like is we're hoping to use the For Your Consideration platform to really highlight, sure, Love and Bananas, but Billy the Elephant, to say this situation isn't on the other side of the world. This situation is something in our backyard.
Do we have time for a few questions? Questions from the audience?
No,
Yes,
getting
right
kicked
there.
out, so yes.
Oh, sorry. I was really interested in any more backstory with the Elephant Haven. Like,
Yeah.
was he changing his mind during some period prior, or is this all like during that period that you were there that he decided to change his mind and change the business, or is this something that's been building up for like a year or something like that?
Yes, with Elephant Haven and Mr. Chiapong changing his mind, Lek was working on Mr. Chiapong for 3 years to convince him to take his elephants on, just take his elephants on a walk without chains. And a lot of times you're not allowed to go into trekking camps. They don't want to show, because his trekking camp was actually the biggest one in Kanchanaburi, that region of Thailand by Myanmar. And a part of the trekking camp is actually a major kind of elephant circus attraction area. So he really was reticent to letting people in and letting people film. And Lek asked him to give it a shot and give it a try. And I know on our end, for me personally, I was unsure if we'd actually get an interview with him. I was nervous to talk to him. I knew a lot of people didn't want to talk about this. I know when we were in Thailand, we were pretty much only relegated to Lek's sanctuary. So to actually have an interview with him was huge. And then that reaction you see was the reaction that we got. We were shocked because of just his body language. So it all happened in that moment.
Has he had a chance to see the film yet, or?
Well, here's so
That's
Mr.
why I bring that up.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you. So Mr. Chiapong actually, when Lek came to San Francisco, Lek brought Mr. Chiapong with her to the United States for the first time in his life. He came with his family, and I learned actually that half of his family agree with what he's doing. The other half do not agree with what he's doing. So it's been personally incredibly difficult for him. And in San Francisco, we literally had packed houses with standing ovations, and people just rallied around him. And Lek said, like, look at what you've done. This was an incredibly terrifying, new, scary choice you made, and look at the support you're getting. So that's actually resonated back in Thailand. And since filming, Lek has turned 19 camps into humane sanctuaries. That's what, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. How on earth did you handle that terrifying 24-hour trek in that truck? That must have been terrifying for the most part.
To handle the truck ride, I mean, I had the comfort of like getting off the truck and going to a gas station for an iced coffee.
Yeah.
Noi Na did not have that, so the truck ride, definitely in the first part of the truck ride, it was this realization of, oh dear God, this is the situation, this is really happening. I am in a confined space with an 8,000-pound elephant. We're really here. This is really dangerous. That sudden realization had not hit until that moment. I'm happy it didn't, because I wouldn't have gotten on it, so I'm happy for the delayed reaction. We were all so concerned with Noi Na's well-being, and when Lek first walked me through the truck, literally the first thing she pointed to was, this is the bed we're gonna sleep on. So Lek does sleep with her elephants, or if Lek doesn't go and Lek's husband goes on a rescue, somebody is there with that elephant the entire time because they are so scared.
Yeah.
And Noi Na was so old, Lek really didn't think she was gonna make it, so I'm just so happy we did. Yeah.
How is Noi Na now doing?
Okay, well, Noi Na has found now 2 friends. She enjoys afternoon soaks in the river, which are her favorite activity. I relate. And Noi Na has gained 1,000 pounds.
Oh, wow.
She's now proper elephant size, so, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any comments?
Continue to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And I'm a big believer in spreading awareness. That's why I do what I do with my cinema series, and this film particularly. You can all help spread the word through social media, through telling your friends. Can you tell them a little bit about how everybody else can see the film now that it's not going to be playing here after today and tonight? So you guys are lucky that you got to see it on the big
Thank you
screen.
so much
But
for coming
explain
out.
a bit about how they can also help, and how you can do hashtag Twitter, Facebook.
Awesome. Yeah, so again, a huge priority for us was launching this impact campaign. And if you go to loveandbananas.com, it's just, we started this page as, started a section of the page as just an icebreaker to take 4 easy action items. So Lek has always said, truly, with the situation that these elephants are facing, the key to saving the species is education. So we have shareable resources that you can grab and tweet and share and post. Also, the film, The Greater Good came on board, and they launched the Love and Bananas Fund, inspired by the film. In 9 days during the theatrical run, we actually raised $80,000, with 100% of those donations going to Lek's work. So The Greater Good, having kind of successfully completed this first campaign, they said they knew Lek had a list of 200 elephants ready for rescue, or needing to be rescued, and they were like, okay, well, that went well, let's tackle that list. So a big part of what we're gonna be doing from here on out is having this list to go to hopefully fund the rescue of 4 to 5 elephants a year. So you can find the Love and Bananas Fund through our page. Also, you can sign a humane travel pledge that says you won't support exotic animals being used for entertainment when you travel. And lastly, these community screenings. If you're affiliated with a library or a university, a community organization, a school, and you want to request a license of the film at your school, we have an impact producer that gets right back to you immediately and fills the school license to deliver it to you. This is the last day, so really thank you so much for coming out to see this film in theaters, and to really experience the magnitude and the sounds of these elephants in theaters. We're actually available on iTunes right now on pre-sale, and are gonna be available for download on iTunes next Tuesday. We're gonna be having our broadcast premiere on Stars on the 30th of this month. And the word about this species and raising Lek's profile. So.
And last Wednesday was kind of a pre-release premiere that I presented through Kat Kramer's Films to Change the World, but I told Ashley it was DVD also, so that way in advance. You guys are lucky to be here today before that even happens. And one last thing before we go, I'm so happy that Joanne Dean was able to be here today, and this is a first with the Arena Cinelounge that can actually play films for the deaf audiences, but there's 2 different kinds, the open caption and the closed caption. So I'm gonna let Joanne, just as a talking point, explain a little bit about the difference.
Thank you, Kat.
yeah.
So I'll talk and sign if that's okay with you. So yeah, thank you so much, Ashley. Wonderful. And Ashley, she also has had the film, so anybody who knows any deaf and hard of hearing children or schools, it's closed caption, correct?
Yes, it is.
So for closed captioning, that's where you don't see everything on the screen. You don't see all the words. What you saw right now is subtitles, And so subtitles is a little different, correct? Would you wanna explain
Sure. No,
subtitles?
no,
Yeah, the
please go
film
ahead.
is mostly
So
subtitled anyway. Yeah.
subtitles is a lot more when there's a translation or a dialogue, or some of the content is titled
Okay.
and visible on the screen. For closed caption, you would need to bring it up through text. With open caption, which Kat and myself have been showing screenings, it's actually a way where deaf, hard of hearing children, families, hearing, everybody can come into the audience and see fully inclusive the full film with captions. So everything is present on the screen that you shot. And theaters also, you can request
I
sometimes.
believe the Arena Cinelounge does
Yeah.
have.
So
Right.
if people
Yeah.
do request a screening and you have enough patrons to also help fill the theater for the theater.
Well, we'll do it for individuals as well.
But I
were
think it's great
individual.
that you have
So
that.
now that it's open
facility, it's
caption,
rare.
you can ask of the theater, is it possible that maybe XYZ screening could be shown open caption? And that is closed caption, you'd see people wearing the glasses or in the cup, and then you're seeing a device. A device is used which makes the captions visible.
Yeah.
With open captions, it's on the screen, and it's already in your film.
Right, so
Yeah,
thank you
we,
for clarifying
yeah,
that.
absolutely. And I know with the Arena, we rewrapped the DCP to be able to have
Yeah, Ashley made
captioning
that
included
possible.
because I wanted it to be available and inclusive for.
And then we
everybody.
also last Wednesday had some deaf in the audience, and we had an ASL interpreter, so they were still able to, understand the film and the Q&A. But thank you all so much. Oh, there's one question.
So have you talked to the Deaf Festival in LA?
That would
Good
be a great
question.
idea.
That would be a very good idea, and those
So I have the connection with that.
oh, sure,
great. Yeah, that would be
sure.
wonderful,
I've performed at the
Sure.
Deaf Festival in the past with Richard
Richard Ray.
is in charge of that.
He's in charge, yes.
Yes, he's in charge, so you could,
Yes.
this would
Because-
be
yeah.
wonderful.
Awesome.
It is,
I
'cause
love
there's so
Oh,
many deaf
yeah. So when
children
you're-
that I know, and also in the community that love elephants. I mean, they have a passion specifically for elephants, so it would be perfect.
Well, I think what would be a good idea is if the cast came, because they have a performance time, they have band ones, I did magic there, they have speakers there, and they have interpreters, so.
Oh, you're talking about LA, Deaf Festival, LA.
In LA, it's September.
Oh, in
It's
September, actually, this is something that you might be interested
It's in
where.
Yeah,
September,
maybe
it's
Lek
gonna
would be
be
able to
held,
come.
I just got an email like two days ago.
It's at City Hall.
Right,
It's right
so
outside
down
City Hall.
They missed it last year they had it at CSUN,
CSUN, okay.
right, but this year it's back at the
City Hall, City Hall, I can
Great,
give you that.
yeah, we've had a
Wonderful.
screening of
I'd
this
love to.
already at City Hall.
Yes, they
But
have the
this would
big
be a
outside.
great
Yeah.
connected to the festival. Yeah, it's already very
Yeah.
supported by City Hall and embraced by, members.
Well, let's definitely
Okay.
exchange contact
Yes.
information. And I
So-
can't thank you guys enough. Actually, for the screening coming up next, there's gonna be a reception. They're having, the building is throwing a reception, so please come join us for some drinks and nibbles outside. And thank you so much for coming to see Love and
Thank you, you're
Money.
all welcome. Thank you so much for being